is where the fun begins.
To the council. We begin tonight's meeting of the council by calling the council to order. Hello to everyone, and thank you for joining us. The council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm Elise, and with me are my fellow council members, Magic Ace.
Hello.
Redna.
Hello.
I thought that was what you were going to do, and that was it. And Sakari.
Hello, everybody. Good to have you here.
Tonight we're going to talk about the upcoming 5.10 Jedi Under Siege. But tonight, the council and along with the community are going to attempt to theorize what the major plot points of the upcoming update is going to be. So we're gonna try and just guess. There will be serious answers, but I at least had a not serious answer.
Hers was very serious. It was seriously unserious.
So we're going to encourage our viewers to participate and tell us throughout the show, what do you think the major plot is going to be coming up? So as the title of the episode is, just channel your inner Charles Boyd and tell us what you think the story is going to be. So Magic Ace.
Yeah, I have to hit that unmute button. Otherwise, you get to hear Magic Baby the whole time gibbering and jabbering. But anyways, so after our live broadcast, you can find our recorded episodes anywhere podcasts are found. We can also be found on our YouTube channel because all of our beautiful faces are there with our episodes. You can also find us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. And we have a website, which is www.thecouncilswotor.com. And wait, there's more. We also have Twitter, which is @thecouncilswotor. And we have Patreon, which is patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. And if you randomly just get bored and you feel like typing that into a search engine, you will find all kinds of awesomeness and probably strange stuff because the way that stuff works is connected. It's weird. But anyways, that's where you can find us.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Those of you who are in chat with us tonight, we want your inner Charles Boyd. Channel it. Get the channel going. We want to know what you think 5.10 story is going to be. I think this is a fun idea, at least. I think it's going to be a lot of. So, the icebreaker question. It is a quick question that we do every week, just to kind of get the discussion going. Tonight, I thought I'd start kind of slow with the topic. My friends, out of the story options that are coming in the 5.10 story, that is like the Imperial Saboteur, the Republic Saboteur, the Imperial Loyalist, or the Republic Loyalist. Which of those, knowing nothing about them, appeals to you most? If you were to pick one of those
mine's
four,
fairly obvious, but we'll see.
Well, in educate case, why don't you start?
No, my name's on the bottom. You guys go ahead.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna be the grand finale. Elise, you have one of those four that you'd like to play.
That's not the question was, do I think would be the most interesting? I believe is how you said that, right? Not what I want to play. So
sure, it's however you want to interpret it. How does it appeal?
His question was most appealing, so that would be what you want to play.
Okay, so it kind of depends on how you interpret that question.
Well, we want to know how you interpret it.
I don't want to have to go through Kotet again. And for me to be able to do the Republic Loyalists, which is what I think would be the most interesting story to do, since this is a Republic planet, I would have to do that, and I'm not gonna. So, I will be playing as a Imperial Loyalist.
As an Imperial Loyalist, I just love it.
But I think that Republic Loyalist would be more interesting personally, but I could be wrong, but that's what I think.
Okay.
This is so that you can keep your companion?
No, it's just that my Republic character, I've only made it through...
Oh, so you're just not going to play the Republic character?
I've only made it through Kotfi. I have not finished Kotet. And I don't think I have it in me right now to get through Kotet. Just so
I can totally
and having to
appreciate
do
that.
the anathema stuff. So
but it's so fun to do a freaking super long and difficult flashpoint to end a story.
right.
I have
Difficult.
It's long.
The end boss, the end boss on when you're finishing that stuff, it's not soloable if you have like. Okay, I soloed the last one, but I couldn't do it on my healer. I had to do it on a DPS with a healer companion, and even then, it was still absolutely driving me crazy. I was like, it's not worth it. I'd rather do it in a group and teach other people how to do it. You know, no big deal.
All right, so we're starting to get some feedback in chat. Neff says Republic loyalist. Pretty much all the way, kind of more of a scoundrel-free, mercenary kind of loyalist. So it's going to be kind of the loose cannon. Ron Allen took a stab at what the story is going to be. The Sith Empire found out that the Jedi found the Jedi settlement to want to kill all the Master Jedi and take the Padawans to be Sith. Keep them coming, guys.
I love that so much. Thank you.
Well, what about yourself, Sakari? What do you plan on, or what appeals to you most?
Oh goodness, I mean, like, I think I'm not going to be that surprising. It's going to be Imperial loyalist, but as much as this is going to make people like Libero crazy at me, I think I'm looking forward to the Republic loyalist as well. It's I know. I know.
See what I'm saying? It makes sense, right?
Yeah, and I think I'm going to unpack that as we go. Let me just throw that out there for now and not go too deep into it. Give Magic some time to clean up. So, all right, who is next on the chopping block here? Redna, go for it.
I'm not really sure what any of this means, but I am totally going to be excited to sabotage anything that the Empire does, whatever that means. So I think if I
Republic saboteur.
Oh no! If you want to be an Imperial,
sabotaging the Republic, I believe.
If you want to be an Imperial saboteur, it means that you are an Imperial character.
Right.
Who
okay. That's
chose
what I was.
The Republic.
Oh,
right. So
okay.
I will absolutely prefer to be loyal to the Republic and sabotage the Empire.
Yes.
In every way, no matter what my role.
We're gonna have a fight on the council tonight.
But to that point, I'm actually more interested in sabotaging the Empire than I am being loyal to the Republic. Because the Republic has had its own flaws. I'm just more interested in undermining the Empire.
This is like Alliance versus Horde. It's like, they're not perfect. Just pick one and stick with it, okay?
But there's no Suresh. So at least that's a plus.
I know. I both
opinion.
punched her and killed her. Spoiler alert. It's fine.
I just punched her. But
was that the upstart from McKeb?
It's the one that was governor of Terrace, and then she became the chancellor.
In McKeb, it was revealed that she was.
Right.
I agree. I actually never particularly liked her, which is part of the reason why I am more interested in sabotaging the Empire than being loyal to the Republic. Right? Because she's that, power hungry. She's not particularly as interested in the whole, genocidal xenophobia. But she's still not any good. So
yes, but she's not. Spoiler alert: she's not there. So
yeah, because
I think you mentioned that in a previous episode.
If she was there, that would be a
She might have gone missing recently.
Case killed her. I punched her, so I think you're getting like a theme there that she's like still courage.
The last I understood, the Empire and the Republic were in shambles anyway. Like this whole freaking
that's not true.
Kotet stuff was that they became completely irrelevant.
But in Iokath, things started to turn around. So
it's not true. Yeah. Like so let me throw out
the Empire is rising under Asina. Blah 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 blah.
You got it. Yeah, exactly. Like there has been some improvement, and there's a post that they did on SWTOR.com. That's kind of like a report from Lana, and it's like, hey, let me catch you up. What's going on lately? Yeah. And there's been some changes to the Dark Council. Like it's been a reduction from like 12 to 5 or so. And
because they all got killed off.
Well, maybe.
because
the lesser ones are all
Asina did that if you keep her.
Yes, so. But Asina has pulled the Empire together under her, and it's actually doing pretty well. So
unless
unlike the Republic, which is fragmenting because of internal power strife. So.
And we don't know where Satil Shan is.
Yeah, she's
Nobody
MIA.
knows what
Busy
Cecile's
with Darth
Sean
Maul.
is.
Everybody knows she's fraternizing with the light side Mar.
Don't get dirty in here.
I kind of would like to know how that works, actually, being that he's a Force ghost. Like,
Hey,
Yeah, he's a
have
light
you
side
ever
Force
seen-
ghost. The
I
only
can-
way you can do that.
I
Have you kn-
could list several.
no, but I mean,
movies
how
that
does that work? Fraternizing.
very detailed conversation. But that's something we should not talk about on Family Friendly Council. Anyways, my turn.
I don't know if Yoda can take down a tree, with some lightning and fire. Then I'm pretty sure that Mar can come up with something.
I don't need to know what he can come up with. Let's change that. Anyways, my turn. So, I'm sure you all are going to be very shocked to hear this, that I am very excited to be an Imperial loyalist and, stick it to the Republic. But wait.
There's more.
So, here's the thing. If I've never said this before, or even if I have and you just didn't listen or didn't care or was muted or AFK, whatever, I'm going to say it again. I play this game repeatedly and play the same freaking classes repeatedly to do every single option I can to see where the story can go. Like, what's the maximum? And since there's usually only 3 choices or 2, I get there pretty quickly. But anyways, I make multiple tunes for the express purpose of seeing the story from every angle, which is also why I played KOTOR and KOTOR 2, both 13 and 11 times, because I wanted to get every possible freaking option. So wait.
Pro tip. The
So
escape bar lets you restart the conversation and see it the other way.
okay, but that's not
Just letting you know.
cinematically pleasing, and I already know that I'm not dumb. Thank you very much. So the thing that I like to do is when I create a character, I have in mind what type of person this character is. I don't role play it out. I just think this person's a loyalist, this person doesn't care, this person doesn't know for sure and will find their way, whatever. Like,
That's
I think
cool.
of an attitude when
Then they
when I
role play their
develop
way
a character.
through. Yeah, that's great.
Right. So as I'm playing the character, I think, well, what would this character do because they like this or because they don't like this? So when Magic Baby says hi. And so I also have a character that will be an Imperial Saboteur. And the reason why is because she didn't like being an agent. She didn't like what the Empire did to her, the whole mind control thing and that
The
story.
agent
Like,
story really
it
lends itself.
absolutely,
Yes,
it
agreed.
absolutely made her crazy, and she chose to be the triple agent or whatever. She wanted to stay legate, and so she chose to side with the Republic because the Empire had basically tried to ruin her life multiple times. She romanced Theron. The only character I have that left Vector. Okay, keep this in mind. She romanced Theron. She didn't let Theron die. She was all about Theron. She never doubted him. She's going to be my only Imperial Saboteur. All the other ones are going to be loyalists, and almost all my pub tunes, save for one who was a Jedi, who again went all Republic and romance Theron and all that. One of my consulars, she's going to be all Republic, all blah blah blah. Otherwise, they're all going to go all Empire all the time. That's how I'm going to do it, and I don't care.
I'm actually kind of curious how it's going to play out, particularly on the pub side. Like, what's the difference between a Republic loyalist and a Republic saboteur? Because for my smuggler, all he cares about is getting that next set of cargo to its destination for his, clients. So, I don't necessarily need to be running around like a trooper for the Republic, but
All he
I
wants is that
definitely,
next hit of death sticks.
I don't know that I
No, you just need M14X for that. For the Republic.
Right.
Right. I'm okay with being loyal to the Republic as long as I can profit off of doing so. But I don't know that I actively want
no
to
political
sabotage, 'cause
engagement.
I'm not a mercenary either.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how the story elements play out.
Well, my character is a light side. The one I'm going to be taking through this is a light side bounty hunter. I think I'm light side 3 or something. But she stayed with Asina because Asina was at least not Suresh and was honest with her to a point. And actually did what she said she was going to do. So that's why I kept her. Otherwise, I probably should have switched, being that I was light side 3 bounty hunter. But that's why.
Right.
But we'll see.
And I'm going to shout out for Neffin because this is generally how I feel about most things when it comes to story decisions, which is that both the Imperial Saboteur and the Republic Saboteur sound interesting, just because the nature of undermining your character's original purpose, even just from a storytelling side, is always a little bit more interesting. I like to know what it means to be imperial but undermining, be republic and undermining, you know, as working against what, you know, your original creation as a story-driven element is meant to be.
But, you know, we didn't know that was how that was going to go when you're expected to make that choice at the end of that Flashpoint stream.
Right.
You were just expected to pick, but you didn't know what you were picking. So people now know what that is. So it behooves people who have waited to get to this point so that they know what the purpose of making that choice was, you know, months
You don't
ago.
think that they're going to give you some opportunity at the launch of this content to decide to become loyal again, or not like this new direction of targeting this planet? So I'm going to undermine them now.
I don't know.
Well, because Lana gives you the option at the end. Who should we contact? At the end of the last stuff, she said, do you want Republic or the Empire? And that's when you make a choice. So I'm assuming that going into the new content, it's based off the choice you made with Lana previously in your last conversation.
And if you don't play that content, the story makes assumptions based on your current faction of what your choice was.
Yes.
You get assigned a choice. So if you don't want to make that your choice, you have to play through.
Definitely.
Well, I know. That's why I'm not playing it.
And just for our watchers / listeners, check out last week's episode 66 for an extensive breakdown on all of that and what all that entails and the ups and downs of it. I think we did a pretty good job kind of digging into that last week for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so our topic tonight is going to be guessing what the story is going to be, right? We're all taking our stab at it, making an attempt. Elise, you asked some people on Twitter and on Reddit to give what they thought about this. So we have some input from those sources, which we will share liberally as we continue tonight, I suppose, right? That's the plan?
Yep.
All right, so... and by the way, that was our poll question. Instead of doing a poll, we decided to take a kind of a different angle on it and have people actually provide answers as opposed to just pick an option, right? So, now what? Who wants to take a stab at this?
Well, I'll kick off with we got one tweet on Twitter. So those of you who didn't tweet back, for shame.
For shame.
I see 4 here. What do you mean?
I only have one to me. I haven't.
In the doc, there's 4.
Well, there's a couple clever remarks. I don't know if you want to count those.
Yeah, but is that
That's
no
Twitter.
like a catch on the word clever there? Clever.
So I got so to me, someone tweeted to me directly, and their response was, and there was a few people on Reddit who kind of said the same thing, which is Sunset Legacy said, still catching up on my Dark Side Jedi so my story doesn't get borked.
Okay.
So that was their response for what they think their character is going to be.
They must have been paying attention last episode.
We got we got a few of those that they're not caught up yet, and so they don't know because they don't know. So that was that one.
Well, the end of the Jedi Knight space story ends like no, I'm just kidding. I know it's the one you haven't finished. So
I gotta flip over to Reddit. If somebody else wants to add one that was, you know, that we have somewhere else, feel free.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so did you share Sir Galahad on Twitter, Elise?
Nope, because she was talking about the ones that replied directly to her, not to the council.
Okay.
The Sith Empire is ready to wage a secret biological warfare on the Jedi Order on Ossus. But even they are not ready for the secret that lies within the ruins of the ancient Jedi Temple. Is the hunter becoming the hunted? Join the fight and find out soon.
That's
TM.
awesome.
TM.
That was awesome.
That was probably one of the better replies.
Don't worry, he'll get paid for it, I'm sure.
That was awesome.
Oh,
I give claps to everybody who was inventive. You get claps from me.
I liked that one a lot. I also really liked AJ's. He thinks the story will be about flirting with the Satele.
That would be awesome.
I think that's wishful thinking.
I mean, you do get a chance when you're on Odessa to flirt with her. She just kind of looks at you like, did you just really do that? She ignores you. Yeah. You're like, you're a sight for sore eyes. And she's like, no.
So the number one response on Reddit was, and then we can take a break and move on to chit-chatting and kind of dump some more in there as we get them. So the most upvoted was 17 actually likes. Response on Reddit was by, and I'm gonna butcher this person's Reddit name. It's Connell _ HFT. I'll probably stab a ton of Sith with my lightsaber? ? Hopefully reunite with my wife who's been missing the last 5 years, despite me being the head of a massive alliance with the resources to easily find her. Like, geez, T7, what have you been doing? How hard is it to Google Kira's location for me?
Google Kira. That's great. Galactic
She's been
Google.
in deep meditation and contemplation, off the grid, doing stuff.
And then off that, because Reddit's all about memes and whatever, someone said he's busy playing online sabacc. Droid's got a gambling addiction. Darn it, T7. I'm changing words.
All right.
This is a family show.
Fair enough.
Darn it, T7. I need my Laura Bailey. Which I guess I should have known that was Laura Bailey.
So
Sam.
There was one on this that made me laugh out loud for like 15 minutes, and that was the next one down. Hydrosphere 1313 said, "Gonna send the Republic to Belize like I did Suresh."
Yeah.
Belize? That's just so funny.
It's Space Belize.
Yes.
Yeah. That was,
So
I had to laugh at
it
that one.
was. So there was just kind of that like meme. Lots of people played off that one, but I
Right.
enjoyed the how hard is it for you to find? I've been this head of a massive alliance for 5 years.
That's why I'm really interested in the new like campaigns coming back. I'm like, what really, like writing, like as the writers, they're gonna have to do a really dang good job. So far, the only ones that I thought was legit was Felix Arreso's. Like, he was held captive.
Right. Yeah,
so
that
his
was
made
legit.
sense.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing that happened to you. So him being gone, you're like, well, you can't really fault him since you were in Carbonite for 5 freaking years. So I really want to know what the writers are going to do with these other ones. They can't do the same crap of, oh, well, you know, I was off doing this and I just lost track and didn't make it over here. I mean, unless they're completely broke and can't make money for 7, 8 years. Like, seriously?
Yep. So did we want to talk a little bit and read some more, or do we want to just keep reading? I mean, I don't care.
So I want to know, because our resident lore master, we have 2 resident lore masters actually here.
Obviously, Elise is one of them.
She's the game master. No. So you guys are the ones that are interested in the EU even more so than I am. You and Redna. So Redna, you haven't said anything for a moment. I want to know, what do you have a? Can you take a stab at this?
Yeah.
Have you done any thinking in
hear
this regard?
Well, I mean, realistically, this is a time period in which there isn't any information to particularly draw from. And this is a world that has been completely devastated in regards to any of the content that came before. Although one would assume that there are, leftover pieces with some rationale or viability.
Okay.
I don't know that there's much to be said, because they like to, I think the one thing is that a lot of people are taking the information that they've been given and thinking that this is going to be like a McKeb storyline. But to me, it does not seem quite so much.
It's a new dailies area with a tied to storyline. So if you like doing McKeb dailies, then sure, it's like McKeb.
Right, but I don't think that the
Or
storylines are
Iocath,
going to
if
be
it's not
as
spread up.
significantly
It's not
separate.
as bad as Iocath, I promise.
You don't think they're going to be significantly separate enough, Redna?
No, not
For the
compared
Republic.
to McKeb. McKeb was, the Republic is trying to save this planet because the Hutts have mined so much it's falling apart. And there's a significant resource that it would be great to get, but saving the people is more important.
The
the
Republic
Empire
did not know about the resource. It was the Empire that knew
Oh,
about
did they not even know about it? I
No,
thought they came across some reserves of it later on in
Yeah.
the
No,
story.
you let the Jedi help you, and then they evacuate, and they're all running away. The Republic runs away, and you're like,
And then you get the big,
yes,
then you go and play
we
the
did it.
Imperial side, because you say, meanwhile,
Right.
the Empire doesn't care about anybody on the planet, but they want to save the planet so that they can actually mine this mega resource because, magic element number 12.
Right.
I think it was actually isotope 9, so magic element number
5.
9.
Isotope 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 5.
And in fact,
Stuff
when
that
the
you
Zakuul
like have
invaded the
tons of and can't
galaxy,
use anything of. Yeah.
when the
What's that,
Zakuulans
Elise?
invaded the galaxy, it was Isotope 5 retrofitted ships that were allowed to escape. By the
That
way,
could escape.
yeah,
They're the only ones that had the
not
strength
allowed.
to.
They could
Yeah.
escape. They were fast enough to escape.
Yeah, and you
Right,
get this
Lisa?
you get that isotope stuff that you can't do anything with after you finish McCab. That was a joy. I enjoyed that.
You farm a lot of that, yeah. But from storytelling element, I mean, the two did not cross. Like, the Republic was completely unaware that the Empire was even there, and that was actually part of the Empire story, was to prevent their presence from even being known to the Republic. I don't see them doing that with this content release. So while they may be telling it from a, okay, the Jedi are here, so the Republic's defending it, and okay, the Empire don't like the Jedi being there, so they're going to attack it. I don't see it going much beyond that with any subtle, individual storylines that are as distinct as that.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I think they're going to actually do a decent job this is not necessarily getting into what I was going to say, but like 2 separate storylines. I think
they're going to, because if they don't, the game's going to tank. So
there's some
I
expectations.
think they're going to.
It's a content release that's leading into the expansion. So my wild, crazy idea is that we actually will be able to set ourselves up by the end of this content release for some really interesting stuff going into the expansion that we know about. I don't know that it's going to be so. I would expect it to be as deep and wonderful, hopefully. Like, my wildest hope is that it's as deep and and wonderful as Oricon.
Okay.
And I thought Oricon was the best content drop
Oricon was
expansion it's ever had.
Oricon was great. There was a story to it. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Right.
And there was 2 operations involved. They're not going to beat Oricon.
Right. I don't know. Maybe you get surprised, but I do think they're going to end with a big cliffhanger.
Wasn't it wonderful that the story ended in a really hard operation? I mean, Flashpoint. I mean, what was it you said before, Magic?
2 really epic operations. Thank you very much.
I definitely think we're going to see.
Now what we got coming.
It's this whole point is the point of this is to tease us for 6.0.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they're doing, and they're laying some right. This is kind of like the
It's going to be lighter.
Flashpoints that we had going into the
Shadow of Revan. I don't know.
Forged Alliances. It's kind of like that kind of a content drop where we're getting the material that's laying the foundation for the next expansion. Which, fortunately, what we do know from what was it? We actually had that quote.
I feel like this is going to be like Ziost. It's probably going to be about the Ziost level of. It's going to be a little bit of story that drives you forward. Doesn't really do much of anything, but kind of sets you up for the next thing and has a daily area attached. I bet you we're going to see the caliber of Ziost, but there's 2 sides to it.
That's
and as much as we know at least for a fact that they're setting us up for the Republic and the Imperials attacking one another again. Like, there's actually, the war is breaking out again. And quite frankly, that's what people were asking for following McCab. Like, they didn't want it to continue to go in these, fantastical directions. They actually wanted to see Empire and Republic in conflict. This is, we want it like the movies. So
we want the trailer for Deceived. We want Jedi and Sith destroying each other's temples and killing each other. And we want the Republic bashing heads with the Empire. We want conflict. We are terrible human beings.
Dogs and cats getting along together. This is what we want to see.
Mass chaos. Spoken like a true Republic.
That's funny.
So, Elise, do we have any other notable entries?
So Malrak, I'm butchering people's Reddit's names because they're meant to be read in your head, not out loud. Anyway, for me, not much has changed in terms of motivation, parentheses, ruling the galaxy. But the biggest weapon, parentheses, Eternal Throne, is removed from the picture. It's time to change tactics. Lost the throne, now have to find a different way to rule the galaxy, which means removing Republic and Empire from the board one way or the other.
Was the Eternal Throne removed?
I love that answer.
Default assumptions?
That's the answer of a strategist.
No. In order to control the fleet, you have to have it. So,
my Sith Inquisitor character is currently fully aligned with the Sith Empire, but it looks like they're getting too much power. He is certainly not interested in the other side winning. He wants to build his own world, so now it's time to do a little sabotage. Essentially, supporting both sides of the conflict should allow the Eternal Alliance to come out stronger than either of them.
Wow. I wonder if he's going to play Saboteur then. Imperial, but Saboteur. In order to undermine both. That is an interesting take on things. I like the intermixture of roleplay and like because this guy's playing from a perspective of a character. I just think that's great. And then like, what would this Magico, like it was what you were saying earlier, like what would this character do? What's this character's angle on this? I think that's right.
Yeah, okay, like all my warrior tunes are all of the mindset of kill Quinn. So yeah, it's right. Decisions like that.
Unified.
I have one. My Juggernaut did not kill him because she wanted to rub it in his face that she romanced a Jedi's son and brought him over to her side. So she let him stay to lick her boot heels and have that rubbed in his face. But otherwise, they're all dead.
So can I just go ahead and put out there what my wild idea is and where I think they should go?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we thought you were going to do before, at least.
Yeah,
okay, what I think they should be doing with this storytelling is that we've got this grand premise that the Jedi are on this planet. They've been in hiding there and sequestered to, lick their wounds and try and power up, apparently, power 9,000. But the Sith have found this out, so they're coming to attack. And so because that teaser information, it mentioned that as the commander of the Alliance, which isn't the Republic, isn't the Sith, you play a key role in deciding the fate of what happens here. I think what this is actually a grand setup that the Jedi have set up this wonderful situation they've orchestrated, and Satele and Lightside Mar have actually taken some leisure time away from their fornicating in order to actually orchestrate.
No, you're fired. No.
In order to orchestrate these two powers to actually come together, right? And then at the last minute, what's going to happen is we show up as commander of the Alliance, and they're all going to attack the freak show that decimated the entire galaxy, both the Republic and Empire, and take down that megalomaniacal character, which is yourself, and lay him low so that they can rise back into station within the galaxy.
Yeah, you lost me at fornicating.
Winky face, to quote Musco.
What's that, to quote Musco?
Winky face?
Winky face,
okay.
Yes.
I want to see them actually address anything to do with my character being way too powered and out of control. My trooper that can force destroy an emperor. There's something wrong with that, and so he's got to be reset and put back down, demote him. He's for the Republic because
put him back
he can't get a job anywhere else,
Right.
M14X wouldn't allow it.
Okay, so yeah, Magic, go ahead.
I was gonna say, actually, mine's pretty quick. I didn't do anything outlandish. Basically, I was on Ossus and listening to the things and doing the dailies and stuff, so I have insight that's not fair to this question. So I will just say that I personally think that it's going to be, again, Imperial treachery and all the Sith alchemy and whatnot that Melora is going to be bringing upon the galaxy. We're going to be fighting off her hardcore minions, and there's going to be a surprise element that we're not expecting, which is why they kept the story so hush-hush and why the only way to get onto Ossus was to have a guild ship in the first place. Why they wouldn't let you just go there. And I feel like there will be Jedi versus Republic because I know I was Empire and I had to kill a bunch of Jedi to get objectives done. So I will be killing lots of Republic people. I will be killing lots of Jedis. And I will say, make sure you're geared and you have a level 50 companion because I got the crap kicked out of me and had to group up with a couple other people because those turrets are insane. Okay, so that's what I think.
Overtuned. This is why you need at least purple 230 gear.
I was in 252 gear and got my butt kicked, and my level 50 Talos was crying and licking his wounds. It was insane.
I'm just going to say, I'm just reiterating again, we went over this in the last one, but they had better turn that down. Because you do not ask story people to come geared. They just don't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad.
So they better, or else
and I'm just going to say it again. You're right.
They're going to get lit up on the forums. You ask endgame people. They're the ones who want challenge. People like y'all here, except for me. Y'all want challenge and stuff. I don't want challenge. I just want to do the story. So don't be forcing me to go have to grind gear just to play the story, because you're going to get reamed on the forums. BioWare, I hope you're listening, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
I'd best tune that down.
Right, absolutely.
I'm not an influencer, but if they ask me, I would tell them. I would tell them the truth.
They know. They know.
It was really funny. This Juggernaut whispered to me, is like, can you please help me? I'm dying so hard. I'm like, yeah. So we group up and like we get all the way to the top and then find out our objective is actually on the other side and we didn't have to fight our way up and we only had to go around. We're both like, are you effing kidding me? We're like typing back and forth and then we had to go all the way back down. By the time you got to the bottom, they'd already respawned and we're like, just forget it. Just run. Just run. It was bad. It took us like 15 minutes to get up there and find out that's not where our objective was.
And it better not be like that too, because that's exactly what you got with the Kaleo like thing. That is my most loathed chapter in Kotfi, and I will quit until they fix it. So they better not. Okay, moving on. Just don't want to bring everything down.
So can we read some from this teaser post that was posted to the website today? This will give us a little bit of an
Go ahead.
angle more.
I didn't get a chance to read it yet, so.
So amid the desolate crags of Ossus lay the ruins of an ancient Jedi bastion. Following the devastating war against the Zakul, Jedi Master Gnost-Dural has retreated to this forgotten world and established a hidden colony, seeking to safeguard the Jedi and their teachings for the future. But the colony's location has been discovered by the Sith, who have deployed Dark Council member Darth Melora, I think there's a footnote to that, let me get to that later, to destroy the Jedi colony in a deadly first strike, renewing the war against the Republic and the Empire. As the commander of the Alliance, you will play a key role in deciding the fate of Ossus and the Jedi hiding there. I think Darth Melora is key to this whole thing. So
she's on the screen, the load screen, like when we did PTS and you load up the game, how every time they do a new patch or whatever, or not patch, and a new content, like anytime they do new content, she's on there. So clearly she is involved heavily.
Well, they brought her up in the stream, if you remember, where they teased out the picture and all that stuff. So clearly it was wink, wink, nod, nod, Melora.
Winky face, yeah. So
like, did you catch
she's
this
the new
super
villain that we're
obvious
gonna kill in a dream sequence?
No, remember how
cinematic?
Darth Mar was the guy who got you roped, on the Imperial side at least, got you roped into McKeb, and you were there at Darth Mar's direction. He was kind of the one commanding the mission until you kind of took it over. I think that's the role that Melora is playing this time on this particular planet. So she's kind of like a dispatch, I want to say. You're the one who basically does all the work, but she's the dispatch that kind of gives you the mission to begin with, and that's my theory, at least for the Imperial side. But so my angle on this is kind of serious. Like, I took the serious. Elise, I think yours was more fun. Do you want to do yours first? I really like yours. I want to share yours.
Yeah. Okay, so. So I was going from my Jedi, but I won't be playing my Jedi till probably this coming summer. Anyway, so I will stumble upon a lost Jedi library. A Jedi Force ghost will task me with hunting down the patrons to recover lost books and collect overdue fines. When my character collects the overdue books, she will sneer, "No more books for you." When I collect enough books, the balance of the Force will release the Jedi Ghost Librarian. I didn't put the librarian on there.
That also sounds a little like there's another show that's out there that's got that in. I won't go into it.
Yeah,
it's Seinfeld.
Yeah, the soup Nazi is what you're.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm referring to the librarian in Parks and Rec.
Oh.
They're both apt.
I am gonna laugh, Elise, if you nailed it. Just like we'll sit here just in total silence next episode, going.
Well, I mean, in the Legacy comic books, Ossus is the main library, and everybody's all like, "Hey, let's go check out the Jedi there." So Elise could be right.
You have to go. Your mission is to collect books. That'd be just great.
Honestly, because you said this,
that'd be
I
the
really
end
want
of it,
them
but
to
hey.
go in a later patch and add like a little string of like collecting volumes again. That'll
Oh my
be
God,
great.
I could totally see it. I mean, you had to go collect, was it parts of animals or crap from Melora? So it wouldn't be that far away from that.
It was
that
just
big.
the Tucata brain. It's not that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
And it was for Lord Renning anyways.
Why are you guys such haters on reading? I like to read.
I'm not. I listened
hating
to
on.
the audiobook and read the chapter while I was reading too.
Audiobook, not reading.
I said and read the chapters too. Thank you.
Oh,
I
okay.
had a copy.
Hey, blind people and whatever might.
Blind people have their fingers.
Yes,
that
but
They
not
don't
all of them.
have to use
But
them.
not
They're
everybody uses them. That's what the audio books are for.
And for those of us who have dishes and laundry to do, and I can't just sit on my butt and read for hours anymore because I'm not a
Right.
kid. Thank you.
I know people in my life that read audio or listen to audiobooks because they don't want to go to the doctor and get contact lenses.
That is hilarious.
That's a different topic for a different show.
Yeah.
Read me the menu.
Move along.
Okay, so my stab at this.
No, that's when you only go to restaurants with pictures.
Right. I like a number 4. Numero ocho, or whatever. So,
No soup for you.
yes. I think the soup Nazi is going to be one of our keywords. So my take on
books for
this
you.
is that, I think it's actually going to, I think Darth Melora is the key. So there is a post from, like I said, mentioned earlier, from Lana, who's kind of an Imperial intelligence. Here's the update, and she actually supplies for you what has happened to the Dark Council. They've been reduced in number to 5, and they have a set of responsibilities. And I think the key here is what is Melora's responsibility. So I actually made a slide for this. Let me put this up. But we'll talk it through for our listeners. Assuming I can find what I labeled. Okay, so there I compared the two lists, and there's like a hey, here's what happened if you pick the Empire. There's a hey, here's what happened if you pick the Republic. So this Dark Council on either in either scenario is the same, with the exception, I think, and this is very interesting, of the civil administration guy, who for the Empire is Darth Vowron. I don't know if you recall Darth Vowron. If you played the warrior storyline, he's pretty key in that one.
You can't finish the storyline without talking to him, so yeah.
Right, so he matters. So there's Darth Vowron and it's Darth Shar if it's the other guy. I don't know if that is significant or not, but I'd love to find out what the answer is. But look, they've got a Sith doctrine person that's in knowledge, mystery, Sith philosophy. There's a military commander. Now, this is ex-Darth Mar, because that's what he was doing beforehand. Defense of the Empire, military offense, military strategy. This advancement, technology, and biotic science, and that's what Melora does, and I think that's key. And then there's civil administration, that's Vowron or Darth Shar, that's production, logistics, laws, and justice. And then galactic influence, which I think is interesting, Sith intelligence, expansion, and diplomacy. So that's your Department of State, I think, right? Rena, you look like you really want to say something.
Yeah, because Darth Shar and Darth Vowron, it's much simpler than you're making it out to be.
Okay.
This is just trying to bring in a flavor of real life, and the administrative state has gotten way too big for its britches, so they've got to. Okay? There are actually 2 civil administration people.
Okay, fair enough. So I think, but the key is with Melora, because she is over technology and biotic science, right? And that's her history. She was working for Renning beforehand, doing the Tucata brains. You've played the Korriban. You've run into her and you understand.
You could do it as Inquisitor or as Warrior. You have the option to talk to Lord Renning, and
Right.
he tells you he wants you to talk to his apprentice, Melora, and find out information from her. And she gives you the option to betray her master or to stay loyal to him, but she wants you to help her. Helping her, which is betraying him, is light side. So that'll be interesting to see if she mentions, by the way, I remember you helped me, or I realized you didn't help me.
Right.
You know.
So my question is, why would the Empire, who at this stage in the galactic history is doing really well for itself, has managed to pull things together, seems to have its ducks in a row.
You think the Empire is doing well at this stage?
It's what the Lana report says.
It's
actually
yes, but
flourishing.
that's called propaganda.
You know what? That would actually really be a cool angle if that is the case. But
according to the thing, they have their crap together because of Asina.
Yes, Asina has managed to make it work.
The Jedi do not.
So building on that, so what I think is happening.
Self-appointed person decides to send out a message that she's done a really good job for the Empire.
I love it. Hey, sticking outside the box. Let's give credit for that. So why would the Empire, who is together, decide, hey, we suddenly need to attack some lone tiny itty bitty farming world that's got a few Jedi on it? They don't care that much. I think something is afoot again, much like Isotope 5 was the catalyst the first time. There's something to fight over on that world, and I think Melora is key to what that means. Now, it's some kind of biotic science, because if you look at that lineup, they've got a military guy. They've got a Darth Maul replacement, and he would lead the military if it was all about conquest, but it's not.
Right. They say this is about a first strike. Okay, well, you use the military commander Darth Krovos for a first strike.
Yes.
Unless you've got some other agenda. I agree with you.
Something is up, and I think Darth Melora is key to what that is. Now, it's probably some kind of, I don't know, power or a weapon of some kind. I don't know. I mean, who knows what it could be from there.
Oh, God, please not another super weapon.
Hey, it's a Star Wars. Super weapons is everything.
No.
Hey, this is the new, bigger, more powerful Starforge.
No.
Yes. It's Death Star -1.
This is where they learned in The Last Jedi how to actually turn a planet into a weapon. You see? Because this planet is the blueprint.
Yeah, no, at least I'm kind of with you. I hope it's not a super weapon. I'm like, okay, Star Wars does super weapons, I get it. But can we take a break from that for this?
Yeah. I mean, there are so many possibilities out in the world, especially with her being biotic science. Blueprints to a new implant that can give Sith powers to the military. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even getting paid how much they get paid, and there you go. There's one right there.
I'm still going back for may their powers combine. Like, there's some sort of circumstance. So this is originally a Jedi library world. There was a lot of Jedi history. It was important to the Jedi. Like, that was the hint that we got before we found out that for sure that the planet was Ossos. So it could totally also be that there's some kind of mystic combobulation where the Sith want to get in there because they know, combine out what we know with this information or source or whatever, and we will be able to pull off some sort of new stunt that's never been done. Like, not a weapon per se, but further some agenda.
Or even, how about we went down the dark crystal path and they managed to figure out how to combine light side and dark side powers together.
Hey, maybe we'll finally get the gray back in.
Like that stuff they tried to do.
There's 5 Jedi Masters, and there's 5 Dark Council, and if you put them together, they meet in the middle.
They make babies. Oh, wait, sorry.
And you get at the end the dark crystal,
and then
you get those light beams that are like super,
Voltron.
And then they go away.
It's a double Voltron.
Yeah.
Double Voltron.
There you go. There's 2 ideas.
Horrifying as those ideas are, we can come up with something better.
I think somebody mentioned in chat earlier, and I don't know who it was, but they alluded to it's all about balance in the Force. And I'm gonna laugh if that's like actually hit it on the head too.
Anakin's not born yet. There's no balance. They
tried to go down that path with Ziost, not Ziost. Zakul, remember that whole spiel where they were talking about, the Zakulans don't see the Republicans light and dark, they just use the Force, blah blah blah, and then you never really use that. Like, you never really saw that.
The Force is a reward for justice, I want to say, some weird philosophy like that.
It was anyway.
I like the idea that this is actually the origination. So the whole goal here is basically to get this light side holocron and this dark side holocron, and you merge them in order to get a powerful prophecy. And this is where the balance of the Force Anakin prophecy comes from.
Okay, so
Okay.
Along that note, we had someone, designer Lucy, said, "I will ignore the story and planet missions until I have collected all datacrons and finally uncovered the mystery that I found."
Are we getting a new
That was like the
Datacron?
most epic segue ever. I don't know. I
I don't
haven't
know,
heard
it
a thing
fit
about
with
it.
what you were saying, so I just threw that out.
I
I
hope
want it. I
so.
want it.
I love Datacrons. And I hate that they did that to them because it gave them a really.
No.
Grim Alkin, Alkum, said, "I'm going to set the Galactic Republic and its Jedi protectors on fire and watch it all burn down. Note to self, get marshmallows."
Ooh. So, and I'm going to put it out there that actually, as an extension of what comes from this content, we will actually see that if you continue to be a Republic player that's undermining the Republic as a saboteur or vice versa as an Imperial saboteur, that what will actually ultimately come from this is that they're finally going to integrate the gray Jedi or Sith concept. Anybody that's saboteuring their
We're
original
all for
faction becomes
integration.
gray.
No.
I like having the gray Jedi matter. Jolie
I would.
Bindo was awesome in KOTOR.
Yeah.
And
I
actually,
mentioned
Kreia
that
as
just a
well.
second ago.
Darth
She's
Treya
not
/ Kreia.
gray.
She is
She's
gray.
not gray.
She is
She-
great. Like, if you
she's-
play your way back through KOTOR 2, you will see that she will reward you for neutral options. Not for either.
That's because she doesn't want you to be one or the other. She, however, is one. She knows that you need to have no strict attachment. She's telling you be free, be free. But at the end, she says, "I'm Darth Treya," and she betrays you and fights you and does all the dark side things. She's not gray. She wants you to be gray. I played that thing 11 times through and got to the end every time. I was like, "Stupid Malachor 5, stupidest ending of a game ever."
It's just like, hey, we're done.
She's
Right?
like, "All those questions
done.
I promised that I would answer, I'm going to answer them now because the game's over."
This may
Just
be
three
my
lightsabers.
favorite magic in any episode yet.
Why?
Well, I watched an interview with Fergus. I can't remember what's Fergus's last name, the CEO of Obsidian, and he talked about how they had to cut all those planets.
Chop
and
it to nothing.
And he said they were really upset about it, but it was just because
The player
ran out-
base was too.
they ran out of time and money, and they didn't have any choices. So
Well, isn't that why they were actually willing to endorse or permit the reintegration of all the storytelling elements by that third-party group that spent years and years and years data mining and filling it out and paying people to voice act it and everything?
yeah, but then it got shut down.
Well,
Thank you.
That's not my fault. That's not
Thanks,
Obsidian's
Disney.
fault.
But
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying that's
saying,
why Obsidian was
Clearly,
able to
that
do so.
wasn't enough because they got shut down by LucasArts. So Obsidian will also not be making, I'm sure, another game for Disney. So or EA, they are
It
owned
is.
by Microsoft now. So
As
Yeah.
much of
that ain't happening.
as much as they flummoxed KOTOR 2,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge on that decision.
They were like, "Christmas
Yeah,
is
agreed.
coming. Let's scrap the whole last half of this game and put it out now."
Get it out for Christmas sales,
Very
which I
freaking
can't
annoying.
stand as a development cycle for gaming.
And when you're going to Darth Nihilus, like there's a point, like when you're on his ship, if you don't do the sequence in the correct order, you get stuck on the ship and you can't ever make it to the next part of the ship. And so you literally, if you don't have a save from previous to that point, you have to start the entire game over again. I'm like, where were you guys at in testing this? What is this? Like, you have to know the exact way to get through there or you can't progress. The game is over for you. It's so annoying.
It's true. All right, so
I bet you there's a patch, by the way.
is there anything anyone else wants to say with regard to theorizing about 5.10 story? It drops
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
do it, and I'm gonna love it and hate it. That's my theory.
Okay, it drops tomorrow. So let me switch into announcements real quick, guys. There's a new teaser post. We've been alluding to it here and there throughout this episode. Definitely go check that out on the SWTOR website. It's just kind of an update. In fact, we read from it a bit tonight, so do check out. There's a little bit more to it there. Also, the 5.10 patch notes are live. I noticed that in doing some research before we got into this episode, so that's pretty cool. Go check it out. I do want to highlight one thing about all of those patch notes that I think was me. And that is that the character limit for guild rank names has been increased to 32, up from 16. that was me, baby. Because I sent Musco an email. I said, please increase these. Because like in our guild, we like to have operations officer as like but you go operations OFF and it stops.
Of the name.
Yes, and it stops. And it's like, so ops guy, what do I call this person instead? So now you can actually put the whole
operations.
Yeah.
Ops dude.
It just doesn't have the same effect. So the rank names are longer. I'm happy for that. There's a stack of them now. Go check the patch notes out. They're actually really cool on the guild. I'm really looking forward. That's all I have on the announcements, guys.
I have one more.
Sure.
TDS says.
Put it in there.
From
Let's go.
my bounty hunter perspective, Lana, Commander, we have information from our operatives that they have found a planet with Jedi farming weed.
Weed. That's gonna be great.
The Empire also knows and have dispatched a fleet to destroy them. My bounty hunter. Weed? Ready my ship. I'm going to be so flippin' rich.
This is what happens when you outsource your writing to Colorado.
That was very pointed.
Feedback. Aries CZ goes, so Empire is the DEA in this scenario?
That's funny. Good times.
Anyway,
Magic, over to you.
We would like to say, wait for it. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out and chatting with us and for making fun of us or generally ignoring us and just giving us the view. We appreciate it. We also really appreciate everybody who downloads our podcast because you make the numbers so beautiful. We love that you care. Thank you for everybody who checks us out on our Patreon, our website, our Twitter, Facebook, all of it. Like, we greatly, greatly appreciate it. And most of all, thank you to the people who are talking to us in chat and answering us on Twitter, Reddit, and all the other things. Thank you. You are greatly appreciated. Oh, yes, and it's the last night of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to all those who it matters to.
And we're only 3 days from Santa Lucia, just saying. Which brings us to the end of the episode. The council is adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. You can find Elise on Twitter at abrown35, Magic Ace at the Magic Ace with the JK, Redna at R3DN4, and Sakari at I am Sakari. Also, don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncilswotor, where patrons can catch the articles we're talking about behind the scenes and exclusive backstage access to our after show chat. That's it for this week, guys. You are the chosen one. You have brought balance to this world. Stay on this path, and you will do it again for the galaxy. But beware your heart.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.